When I was 8 years old, I was sent to a mental institution for 3 years for a crime I didn't commit. And that experience became the source of my greatest strength. I come from a big family, one of 7 kids, all boys and 1 girl. And we protected my sister, but let's just say her boyfriends didn't stick around too long. And we all got along pretty well, except for that one fateful night where my brother set fire to the house. No one got hurt, but I got the blame. And I got sent to that mental institution. And I remember my first night in that padded cell, and it wasn't white padded cell, it was brown rug from floor to ceiling. And there was a wire mesh window where doctors would look in with their clipboards, and there was a punching bag on the ground for angry kids, and guess what? I was an angry kid. And I wailed in that punching bag, and there's spit and snot and tears flying everywhere, and I just said to myself, I prayed, please God, get me out of this, I'll do whatever you say. And I passed out in that punching bag. I woke up the next day, and I was still there. And I said, you know what? I'm all alone. It's up to me. No one's coming to save me. I will figure this out. And the first thing I did is I screamed and I banged on the walls and I banged on the door. It wasn't me, and I quickly realized this made me look crazy. So I stopped doing that. But I was on to something. I said if I pretended that I was ill, I could fool the doctors into saying I got better over time, and it worked. And 11 months later, I got out. But 1 month later, my brother set fire to the house again, and I went away for 2 years. The same thing. I pretended I was ill, pretended I got better, and I got out, got back to my family. So I'm 13 at this point, but I still had to pretend that I wasn't, who I was until 16 when my brother broke down of guilt and shame. And my parents were crying, begging for forgiveness, and I forgave them. And my brother was a mess. And me, I was like, yes! Yes! Well, maybe that's how it happened in my head. But I was happy until I realized that my thoughts weren't really my own. When I pretended so long that I was mentally disturbed that I became a bit mentally disturbed, and my thoughts were dark, and they were scary, and they were violent. And I withdrew. I pulled away from my family, my friends, emotionally. I moved. And at one point I said to myself, how can I even live with this darkness inside of me? And it was at that point where I remembered that little boy in that cell. And he said, I will figure this out. And I said, I will figure this out. And I said, if I pretended that I was ill and got ill, I could pretend that I'm the hero of this tale and become the hero. So I started doing heroic things, and I took martial arts, and I started reading stories about people overcoming great odds. And when 9/11 happened, I joined the army, and I served my country. And just over time, it didn't happen overnight, but I became the hero of my tale, and I became someone who could be a loving family member, a loving husband. And I mentioned my greatest strength earlier, and it's not how strong I am. My greatest strength is my ability to help others, you and you and you and you, realize how strong you are. Because no matter where you are in life, whether you're the lowest of lows or you've set yourself a seemingly impossible challenge in front of you, you have what it takes with here, and a little bit of faith to accomplish anything you want and take your life to the next level. I truly believe that, and I truly thank you for your time.